Hello and welcome to another episode of Put Me in Coach on episode 92, Diamondbacks versus Padres Game 2. Lineup of today, Gabe Marino playing DH, Max Kepler playing left field, Pavin Smith playing first base, James McCain coming back to playing catcher, and then Tim Towel playing center field. And then Loris Grow Jr. came in to play left field for Max Kempler and stuff. And then in the bottom of the sixth, he came in to play left field, basically what it is. And stuff. Looking at the lineup of the numbers and stuff, so it's kind of like a 50-50, not really a whole lot of base hits here and there and stuff. Marino went 2 for 4. That's really good for him and stuff. But then that, the other, there's a couple of hits here and there. Like McCain got one, Marte got one, even Loris Grow Jr. got one. So not really a whole lot base hits, and just didn't really pan out for the Diamondbacks and stuff. We had a good start, but till that, nothing really happened so much. So you're not really going to get a lot of wins if you're not going to get a lot of hits. So that is that. Pitching wise enough, starting pitcher today was Zach Gallen. He went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, struck out 6, walked 3, and gave up 4 runs. So fortunately enough, the runs were very early of the game and stuff, but he did pretty good enough to squire a little bit at the end and stuff, and had a good ending, but those 4 runs really killed him and stuff, and that's where it went downhill for the Diamondbacks and stuff. So, not a whole lot of runs for offense, and fortunately, those runs are just going to stay point of where they're at from Gallen's mistake, and fortunately led the Padres to win overall on that and stuff. So just another, not really. I would definitely say Gallen did really good in some ways and stuff. Not terrible, but not what you want to see from Gallen again and stuff. And then Padres starting pitcher Gorman Marquez or something. I don't know how you say his last name and stuff. He went 5 innings, gave up 2 hits, struck out 4, walked 3, and gave up no runs. So in the beginning, I think the Diamondbacks were a little patient, a little bit here and there and stuff. Only gave up 1 run. That's basically it, and I think the rest he kind of did better. I think in Gallen kind of leveled it up a little bit. Both of them were going back and forth with strikeouts and ground outs and stuff, and not really letting the other team just getting a lot and stuff. So I think I'd give them those qualities for them, but overall, then that, one person only gave up 1 run and the other gave up 4. So that's the only thing from that, and also it kept going from the game overall and stuff. The bullpen for the Diamondbacks, Kevin Ginkel and Jonathan Lizia, and that's pretty much it and stuff. And obviously enough, our worst nightmare just came on the other side of the team, and that's Mason Miller, because I don't know how you do something against him and stuff. And also, he's like the only all-star for the Padres, so it's surprising about that. Going on the scoring and stuff, I'm gonna talk all of them and stuff. They're basically different of it. They're not really boring or anything, but it's very interesting to talk about them and stuff. There's not really a whole lot of scoring, so Max Kepler actually got a RBI walk to make it 1-0 top of the first. Jackson Morrell got an RBI single to tie it up to 1-1 bottom of the first. And then Jake Cronenworth with a huge 3 home run to pretty much make a difference of the game to make it 4-1 bottom of the first. And that is the only score from the game. Only in the first inning. Top and a bottom. So it's kind of crazy to think about that and stuff. But that is the final score. Diamondbacks lost 1-4. Their record right now is 45-46. We are one low down of 500. So we are just keep going back and forth at this point and stuff. I keep saying this stuff so many times and stuff. It's just annoying to watch your team to go back and forth with win and losses. Like, you're nowhere going past through positive things to your team and stuff. Like, it's good to see them winning games and not losing games. Like, I give them that. But I think it's where enough of we had the chance of being better and stuff, and they just show some slack sometimes, and who knows enough of. I'm not saying enough of the Diamondbacks are lazy. It's just I think they just choose in these typical ways where enough of they just don't put all the effort to win games and where it matters, and they're just a 500 team. That's just who they are and stuff. And to me, enough of a fan for the Diamondbacks and stuff, it's really tough to really watch a 500 team like this and can see succeed, but also there's a lot of struggles and stuff, and it's really, really hard to watch a lot and stuff because there's also other teams that are like that, and it's just so annoying. And maybe, yeah, there could be some positive at the end and stuff. Like, we're not even at the half of the second season, the whole baseball season. So for that, it's just like I don't know where we're going to land and stuff, and don't say enough of maybe the second half will be more positive. You probably will never know of it and stuff. This is where we at what we did from last year and this year and stuff, and Diamondbacks just don't learn at all and stuff. And if they did learn what they do mistakes from last time, they can absolutely do a lot better, but they don't do that and stuff. And that's where the struggle comes from, where enough of they don't, like, I want to see energy from this team, and they don't show energy and stuff. And maybe there's some are doing that, but just they're not doing very consistent every day and stuff. Like, you guys are getting paid so much money by doing this and stuff, and you're not even the top 10 of best teams in MLB this year and stuff, and it's absolutely insane what it is, it's just, and there's a lot of teams are way, way low, and they could absolutely do a lot more better than what the Diamondbacks are doing. So again, I don't know. It's just like I'm probably like giving up on Lovello in a way because I don't trust him anymore and stuff, and it's just like that is the truth, like, because he makes so much mistakes from this team and stuff, and it's really, really unrequired to him as well and stuff. And I have heard of a bunch of like interviews from him. He keeps saying the same thing every single time, thinking enough of, yeah, we gotta work a lot better. If you were working a lot better, how you show it in the game? Because your team, the players in generally of enough are not really showing that. So, and clearly enough of you, if you just say enough of batting practice, whatever, we're working on it. It's like, okay, so work on the things you want to work on and actually show it in the game. Because right now, you are showing it. Sometimes you are, and sometimes you're not. We gotta show all the time. If you want to be a World Series team, play a World Series team every single day. That's what we are looking for. That's what I want. And I have a feeling there are 100 and plus Diamondbacks fans are looking for that and stuff. Like, we're trying to get some edition of enough of what actually happened in 2023 and see that again. But we're not seeing the same team that won before and stuff. And you could say enough, yeah, we got lucky here and there. We got a very rookie, Corbin Carroll and stuff, and fortunately people figured him out and stuff, and he's not playing the way he is and stuff, and he had a great year in 2023, winning a Rookie of the Year and all that stuff, and Marte and stuff. Like, these players are absolutely playing the same way as that. It's just they're not really showing their numbers and stuff, all these typical things and stuff. Like, they can do damage, but they're just not doing the damage every single day. So that's where, like, I'm at of enough of they got to do everything and stuff. If you want to be in that high top tier of being the best of the best and stuff, show what you have and stuff, and then just, like, being boring and thinking like, oh, I got it out. That's okay. I'll get it next time. I got it out again. Doing more twice, 3 times, doesn't matter how many times you get it out. What's that going to affect in anything? Nothing. If you get a base hit, you're having a chance enough of you're going to get another hit because you're more focused to the game. You care about the game. You care about baseball. You care about your team. You care about yourself. You care about other people on the side of the team. You care about the fans. You care about playing fair and working hard and everything. If you do all that and stuff, I think you'll be more successful than you are doing before and stuff. Focus on what you need to do and not focus on other people and stuff. If you focus on being more successful, like, let's show that more than enough of, like, I'm just here and I'm a baseball player and I get money. Let's go not that route at that time. Like, doesn't matter how much money you have. Doesn't matter what you name of yourself of it. Be yourself. Doesn't matter and stuff. Like, just be a baseball player. Show you're here and playing for the team and stuff. We want to see good baseball from the team you are on and stuff. Like, people are expecting of you enough to be enough of our 3 big players on the team of Carroll, Marte, and Perdomo and stuff should absolutely dominate the other side. And fortunately enough, 3 of them are not doing what they are and stuff. And the crazy thing is, like, this is the time of, like, Marte's been doing really good from 2 years before and stuff, and also becoming an all-star, and this year he's not doing the same thing, so Carroll is taking over and stuff. And then fortunately enough, like, I'm glad enough of Rodriguez is getting his chance of his first all-star. He's been working for it so long, and it makes sense for him to get through. But those are only 2 and stuff. But it's just like, I feel like Marte, some ways enough, he should be in that category, but he's just not showing that. And so Perdomo had great numbers from last year. I don't know what happened from that and stuff, and he just went out cold and stuff. And maybe Gabe Marino in some ways here and there and stuff, but Nolan Arenado's not showing that. Payne Smith's not showing that. Other people on the team's just not really showing the potential. Our starting pitchers are not showing that. And bullpen is great, but it's just they're not really high potential pitchers overall and stuff, and makes sense enough of why Corbin Carroll and Lourdes Guerrero Jr. are the only two are representing the All-Star for this team. So it's just like, it's just so crazy just to think about these typical things we got to think about and stuff. And it's a lot. I get it, but it's just like, I don't know. Because, like, if you think enough of Lavelle's just keep going to say, we're getting better. I'm not seeing that. If you tell me they're getting better and we're over 500, that means we're getting better. We're at 500. Okay? That's somewhere better, but we want more. And you're not showing that. So, don't have this win and lose type situation. Let's win all games. Let's win it all. Because it would be awesome enough to have a crazy second half of the season and maybe try to get to the wild card. But that is so risky. So much. And stuff, and to me of that just sounds enough of we're just gonna get out of the first round of in the wild card and lose it all. We're enough of let's compete, man. Let's compete with the other competing teams. Let's win some games. Let's get to the playoffs. Let's be dangerous. Of enough of the other teams should be scared from us. And stuff. That's what I want. Because a team is not going to compete and not look scary. The other team is just going to, literally beat the other team. Easy enough. And we're probably not going to get so lucky from what happened in 2023 playoffs and stuff. And I thinking what really makes a difference, I would definitely say our offense did really great from that postseason, but our pitching, our bullpen was doing so well and stuff, and we pretty much shut other teams down, and that's what we need to show and stuff, and we're not doing the same thing at this time and stuff. And offense is just always cold. It's always hot sometimes, but it's cold a lot and stuff, and they can't do nothing out of the ordinary after that and stuff, and pitchers are making mistakes and here and there and stuff. It's just not really looking good at all. So it's disappointing. So progress, it's just we gotta get better on offense. That's just the most biggest thing. We keep not getting better and stuff, and when they do get better, man, you can say enough of how about they do this all the time and stuff. How is crazy enough of we just won the Padres 8-0 just the game before and stuff and lose a game 4-1? How's that possible? It's the same team with different pitchers. Totally understand that and stuff. But, come on. I get James McCain is in and stuff, and Kepler, blah, 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 here and there, and Tim Tawa. I don't know what happened to Tommy Troy or whatever and stuff, but it's literally the same team. I have a feeling enough, and especially enough of this pitcher for the Padres and stuff as well and stuff, because he was on the Rockies. Nolan Arenado actually faced was teammates with this guy and stuff. So he's supposed to know what is coming and stuff. Like, you guys faced this guys before and stuff. Like, how you learn and what to do against this person and stuff. Like, that is the most main thing to look at your homework and stuff. Like, if you're not doing that, what are you doing? Playing baseball? More than that, please. More. You're just not playing baseball. You're playing smart baseball, put the IQ in and stuff, and make this team good and win games when it matters. That's what we want and stuff. We don't want a slack off 500 team at this time and stuff. And Velo needs to get better on that. And Velo needs to know about that too, if he's going to be the manager and stuff. Don't tell me of enough of just like, oh yeah, here and there, blah blah blah, whatever and stuff. No. So I'm just saying of enough. Like, it's just like we really cannot think about these typical things where you're not showing a lot and stuff. Show more, please, because I don't know how Lovullo is keeping his job of doing a terrible job of being at 500. You know, like, you're lucky enough of people are saving your butt in some ways, but somehow enough, it's not going so well. And if you're just gonna keep saying we're gonna get better, we're getting better, show it more, please, because that is time. It's not. Be careful what you say. You know, and on Gallon, on pitching wise and stuff, it's just like, I don't know, man. It's just these both times with Rodriguez and Gallon just was bad timing or whatever and stuff. Gallon needs to do better. If you want to bring back of enough of our 2023 and 2024 Zach Gallen in a way and stuff, or 2022 Gallen as well and stuff, I recommended to work on him, okay? Because just working on him enough of just like, oh, he's that pitch looks good, yeah, that looks great. Not enough, man. Work on things. Work on, like, I get he has pitching and stuff on his cutting, his curveball, his fastballs and stuff. It's great you have all of that and stuff, but it's also positions where you put it, the ball is at and stuff. Work things so what's good for you and stuff. Look at the weakness of the batters and stuff. Work it all, man. You know, those are the things just you're gonna get better and better and stuff, because you're just not playing catcher, playing catch with a catcher at, you know, Gabe Marino or James McCain, whatever and stuff. Like, that's just not all that and stuff. You're being a pitcher and stuff, and your goal is to get strikeouts, outs, get out the inning with no runs and stuff, and you're giving up runs and stuff, because the things is enough of why are you giving up runs, because you're not smart enough to actually pitch against who you're pitching to and stuff. Like, you think enough of like, oh, why are they hitting on my pitches, because they figure out enough of they're learning at what you have and stuff. You know, people can actually read speed. You gotta understand from that point and stuff, you know. So fortunately for that point enough of, oh, they're seeing that cutter, they read it and stuff. You show enough of that cutter and stuff, and you're doing exactly the same thing again on twice of enough, they're gonna read that, they're gonna follow that, and they're gonna put a good swing on that, and that ball is out of here and stuff. So change it up. Like, I get enough of you are changing a couple, you know, pitches in there where enough of you got that cutter, you got that curveball, and then go back to the cutter again and stuff. Like, you can do all of that and stuff, but put the cutter in some other position area as well and make them chase or whatever, or put it in the strike zone. Put more in the strike zone than it is, because if you're just gonna have them thinking enough if they're gonna chase at that and stuff, they're not gonna they're not gonna swing at those pitches and stuff. So think about more of it in the strike zone than out of the strike zone. So there's just a little here and there, you gotta think about and stuff. And Gallen needs to work on that and stuff, because if he does work on that, I'm feeling he will get a lot better and stuff, and more strategy of enough to pitch, and then just going out there and doing your best. Like, we need more. We need more than this. And right now you're 3-9, bro. Like, you're 3-9. You should be our ace, and you're not. And somebody like Rodriguez came over and took your spot, bro. Like, we cannot have this and stuff. We cannot have one pitcher is going to do good and stuff. We cannot have Brandon Pfaadt just thinking of it, he come back and do good because he found his range enough of in the minor leagues. He found out of what his weakness is and prove his strength and stuff. Like, that's great for Brandon Pfaadt to come back and doing good what he is right now and stuff, but that's not more than enough. Kelly, I got to do the same thing. Gallen needs to do the same thing. You guys are our top pitchers, need to do good and stuff, and you're not pitching well and stuff. So it's just, that's the most biggest things. Enough of work on your strength, work on your weakness, work at everything you got and stuff. Work on that when you're on, practice, whatever and stuff. Work on everything what you need to work on to improve of anything and stuff. Don't go out there enough of like, oh, we're just warming up, whatever and stuff. That's nothing, okay? Go out there and work hard and stuff. And if you're in the game, work much harder than that and stuff. Make the team as a win and stuff. Because when you lose and you're looking back, you're looking at fans who are enough of why are this team is keep losing and stuff, because they're not showing the competitive they are and stuff. And that's what we need, and why it's the reason why enough of we have coaches, we have managers, we have this organization from this team and stuff, and you guys are paying so much load of money by just being on the team and playing baseball. You guys are living life and stuff where people are absolutely struggling down here and stuff. I'm trying to get a second job because I'm losing money and stuff. And it's absolutely insane of enough of I wish I can be there at Chase Field working for them and stuff, trying to get a second chance in jobs and stuff, because people don't want to group me at their job and stuff, and it sucks, and job sucks in a way and stuff, because my job where I'm at and stuff are not getting me more hours and stuff, so it's not working in a way of not providing what you have right now and show what you have, because like I get enough of we had a phase in 2023 of enough with a great storyline and stuff. We can get back into that. They thought enough of getting back to that and stuff. I don't know if that will pan out this year and in the second half and stuff. I hope the grade is enough for that. But, and if we can have show improve enough of we can do a crazy pull at the very end to make to the wild card, show we can fight in the playoffs and get to the World Series, win the World Series. Like, that will be phenomenal. Like, it will be a maze storyline to that point and stuff. But it's just like at this point, I'm talking about now at this point and stuff. It's just they're not showing as a World Series team and stuff. And if you want to show this team in the playoffs, they're what they are and stuff, you're not gonna win. So I just I want to see more success and stuff, but it's just they're not doing that and stuff. That's why I keep looking at Vela, what are you doing? Coaches, what are you doing? What are you working on with them and stuff? Those are the biggest things we gotta think about and stuff, because we cannot have this game where we're winning and losing all the time. We can't go back and forth. We can't and stuff, because it is driving me insane. I keep saying this on this podcast so many freaking times and stuff, because we keep going back and forth. What are we doing? don't understand this. Do you want to keep being on a 500 team or not? Because if you want to be out of the 500, more up over 500, play as a team, play the hardest you can, work on it, keep working on it, and be the best of the best. Because just don't go out there enough of like, oh, we're out there because we're out there. That's not enough. Not enough for me. I'm telling you, I want to take over Lavella's job, but I gotta look at reality. I'm looking at it. You'd be more surprised enough of it. I can go to college. If you want me enough of going to college, go to somewhere, whatever, looking for sports management for getting a degree and stuff, I'll do it. I'll manage some other teams. I'll get this job. You'll see. I'm not going to get it now, but maybe in the future. Who knows? If Lovullo is not going to have a great pull in this year, he has a chance to get fired. Because, again, you're over 10 plus years with this organization, and you only made the playoffs twice. And you got a little sliver of the World Series. Can't win it at all. You know? It's crazy because like it's the same thing with like the Yankees, where enough of the Yankees probably have more efficiency of games over than the Diamondbacks because the Yankees keep getting in the playoffs and they keep losing in the playoffs. And where enough, I don't know, Boone is just the plan of it, or the Yankees are just not that good just to make to the World Series and win the World Series. You know, they got a great pull in 2024, but Dodgers were just a lot better. And stuff, and Yankees didn't show that. So, over the whole year of enough of Yankees manager for Aaron Boone, management time with the Yankees, only making the World Series only once, not enough. And a lot of people were thinking about firing Aaron Boone. You know, Aaron Boone is a great manager. Like, I would definitely say that. I would definitely say Lovullo is a great manager, too. It's just, he's just not thinking well of enough as a manager now and stuff. You can be a good person overall and stuff, like, but you still need to manage the team, you know? So, those are just the big things enough, and maybe enough. I could absolutely roast Aaron Boone right now. I probably could right now. And stuff. Because clearly enough of my knowledge about baseball and stuff. Even as a player of Aaron Boone, of his career, he only made to the made to the World Series only 1 year as well. Of his whole career. The only thing I could be wrong with that. In some ways. Was he part of the 1990 Reds? I gotta look that up. I'm looking it up. Let's see. Because I knew he played for the Reds. I know that. I definitely know that. Okay, so he played he didn't really play that long. I'm surprised. No, he was on the Reds in 97 to 2003. He only had 1 year with the Yankees. I know he played with the 2003 Yankees when they made the World Series, but okay, surprising. I thought enough of he was much earlier. To me, enough. If he played in the really early 90s Reds and stopped being part of the 1990 Reds when they swept the Athletics in the World Series, I thought he was part of that, but I guess he was on the team in 97. And so I never knew that. and stuff. Also, I didn't know he played for other teams. I probably saw him in Marlins jersey, but never knew he played for the National. Never knew he played for the Astros. Never played for the Indians. I never knew that. The only team I knew he probably played for the Marlins, the Reds, and the Yankees. That's it. So, and then if you think about 2018, he was that's crazy. So was it Joe Girardi was like bits of when Aaron Judge came to the team, because Aaron Judge came in 2016, and it's absolutely crazy to think about. Aaron Rodriguez was also on the team at the very end of his Yankees year and stuff. So in some ways enough, Aaron Judge and Alex Rodriguez was actually teammates on the Yankees by like 1 year. It's crazy to think about that and stuff. I thought he was later than that, but currently not. But yeah. So for Aaron Boone as the manager, and he's the only manager. Oh, that's crazy. He only played for the All-Star for the Yankees in 2003. That's crazy. That's the only All-Star he made? It's good enough. It's kind of crazy to think about that. Yeah, so he was the Yankees manager in 2018, still present, obviously, still on the team and stuff. If you think about the Yankees of enough, so if we look at the Yankees, like, so the year of enough, looking on the Yankees wild card and AL East division titles, they mostly win in 2018, the year of his rookie year when he was managing and stuff. They also made the AL East division title in 2019 and stuff, and then they made the wild card in 2020. Also in 2021, they made the AL East division in 2022. 2023 is the year they did not make the playoffs. And then 2024 was also, that was the year they made to the playoff. I mean, made the World Series, and then 2025. So, of a good all years, it's crazy enough. All the years that Aaron Boone was managing for the Yankees made to the playoffs, besides of 2023, and made to the World Series in 2024 and lost. That's kind of crazy to think about, having a down back on 2023 and then make to the World Series in the next year. That's kind of crazy to think about that and stuff. I don't know what happened in 2023. Like, I currently enough of what I've heard in 2023 and stuff. I heard injured was like a lot of big thing for their team and stuff. So yeah, it's of that. But my roast was trying to say enough of, it's probably the same thing of enough in 2003, when that's the only playoffs he's probably been in for the Yankees. You know, he's the reason why they got to the 2003 World Series, because he's the one who blocked it off to go to the World Series. Good for him and stuff. But realized enough of, he got that little peak, you know, slightly a little peak in the World Series and stuff, and fortunately lost against the Marlins. Florida Marlins, by the way. And a really good team overall and stuff. I don't think the Marlins deserved to get to the World Series that year, because I think the Cubs got a little snubbed in as well in the playoffs because of fan interference. Anyways and stuff, but like overall enough, like the Yankees were very dominated at that time and stuff. But I thinking also who was the manager at that time. I think it was Joe Torre at the time and stuff, but he, like, I don't know, didn't really manage that team very well to in the World Series and stuff, and probably the reason enough of they lost. But just saying enough of with Aaron Boone, got a little sliver with the little sliver, got a little peek into that, he's hiding, he saw it and stuff. Same thing in 2024, got a little sliver of it. Got to it. Got to it. Same thing with the Diamondbacks. They got a little sliver of it. But not enough to win it. It's tough. So, I don't know if that was a roast or anything. I was trying to put the 2003 where enough of like, hooray, yeah, let's go to the World Series, where enough of you get to the World Series and lost. Same thing with 2024. Like, yeah, the Yankees got to the World Series in 2024. One shutout. Yeah. Like, it could be enough. Like, the most of the crazy things about of the 2024 World Series is they probably never met Freddie Freeman over the side. Like, the guy just killed the Yankees. Like, it's absolutely insane. The guy was just on a tear in the World Series. Like, I'm here to win. And especially enough of doing for his town in LA and stuff. It's honestly a very great story for Freddie Freeman overall and stuff. But, yeah, I don't know. And then also become the MVP, of course. Everybody knew that and stuff. A lot of people were thinking about the Yankees were going to get swept. Last time it was very close enough. The Dodgers were going to get swept in 2018, but they didn't and stuff. But the last time a team got swept in the World Series was 2012 and stuff. And it's still mind-blowing with the Tigers and against the Giants that year, because the Tigers were a really good team that year and stuff, and it's just crazy to mind enough of like, how did they get swept? I guess the Giants were that good of a team. So I love talking about baseball like these things. It's crazy to think about other teams, blah blah blah. I'm the World Series king of knowing the World Series of any year and stuff. So it is crazy to literally think about these stuff and World Series and stuff. So, but currently enough of what I want for my team of the Diamondbacks. Like, I want to see the 2001 storyline where enough of like, let's bring this back up. It's been 25 years since the Diamondbacks made it at that time and stuff. Like, let's bring that back. And I thought 2023 was the chance enough where we could absolutely get somewhere enough. And we got to it. It's just enough of a matter of it's just, can they win it? Can they win it and stuff? And I think a lot of people were really, really shocked enough of we beat the Brewers, we swept the Dodgers. We went to Game 7 and beat the Phillies and stuff. I don't think a lot of people really realize of that. A lot of people were really, really high on the Phillies to going to the back-to-back World Series and stuff. And who knows? It would probably be a great World Series with the Phillies and against the Rangers, because that would be the first time these two teams actually face each other in the World Series and stuff. And both team had really good players and stuff. So, who knows who could win if the Phillies made the World Series instead than the Diamondbacks. So, yeah, who knows and stuff. And who knows enough it, because we were very close to have a 2022 back-to-back matchup from the Astros and the Phillies if the Astros did beat the Rangers, but the Rangers beat the Astros instead. So that's pretty much of that. So we didn't get that, but yeah, that's what it is and stuff. But yeah, it's just like I'm just trying to look at what we can do. And I don't know. I'm not there to see it for the Diamondbacks when they're in the bullpen and working on doing their homework and all this stuff, typical things and stuff. I don't know what they're doing and stuff. These are the things you should think about and stuff. Look at your homework, work on your strength, weakness, everything. Work hard the best you can and stuff. Work hard enough of what you gotta do to get out of this slump and do everything, do the best you can and stuff, and work that into in the games and stuff, because, we're not just, like, I don't know. I don't know why I keep saying enough of, like, putting into, like, don't just play in the game, like, play the game, So I think that's the thing, like, I'm trying to say is enough of just don't play a game, like, play the game. Matter to win of that. So, yeah, it's crazy. All this stuff, what it is. And the game is about to start and stuff. This is actually the next day than of it, but yeah, because game 93 is gonna start in like half an hour, and I'm not even editing this at the time, so it's what it is, man. I can do it. So yeah, and I'm looking at what we have tomorrow and stuff. Michael King is pitching tomorrow and stuff. I also didn't even notice we're getting a 4-game series for the Padres. I thought this was the last game. I thought the next day will be the last game. I thought of that, but fortunately it's not. So this is like back-to-back times where we're playing 2 or 4 games. A series against the Padres and stuff, so it's kind of crazy to think about that in some ways and stuff. So if we're gonna compete with the Padres and stuff, we gotta show literally today and win and stuff. Michael King is on starting for the Padres. Jose Cabrera is pitching and stuff. He has nasty stuff, but it's just, I don't know. My dad keep looking at him and stuff. He has a weird, funky fall in his way when he pitches and stuff, and yeah. So hopefully he works on that, or you don't see it from today. But that's pretty much of that. Hopefully you guys enjoy this episode. Have a great day, and thank you for watching.